Hey, what's up? So today we're checking out the brand new plugin from ML Sound Labs, the Amped Oracle. So stay tuned. The Oracle is a brand new plugin from ML Sound Labs that emulates an orange amp. Now, based on how they have it named here, the Rock 100, I imagine it's based off of a Rock Reverb 100. I could be wrong, but that seems to make the most sense. But sound-wise, one of the things you'll notice about this plugin is I don't think it really emulates any specific type of orange amp, but it's just the orange sound overall. Especially with the high gain stuff, this really does seem to capture that really loose, low-end, kind of saggy, just really saturated distortion that you get from, the orange amps. But this plugin isn't just about the high gain. In addition to the Rock 100 Dirty, you also get a Rock 100 Clean amp. So we're going to go through both of these, check them out, and see how they sound. Alright, so first off, let's just go through some of the basic features of this plugin. Both amps basically give you the same control over the tone circuit. It's all treble, middle, bass. You have a master control here, a gain control. And then what's also really nice is you have independent input and outputs. So you can, if you're getting like a really hot signal coming into the plugin, you can go ahead and trim back the input. If you're not getting quite enough, you want a little bit more, just, push, you can put that input a little bit up. Independent outputs are really cool to have because you're in the mix situation and you don't really want to raise the channel volume. You just want a little bit more volume. And so go back to the plugin, bump up that output, and you're good to go. The pedal board section is pretty similar to other ML Sound Lab plugins. You have a noise gate, which comes in handy with the high gain stuff, a compressor. I use it a lot for clean stuff. Drive pedal, you can use it as either an overdrive or a boost. Chorus, delay, reverb. All three of those pedals are pretty good emulations of real pedals. The reverb, if you push the mix knob up a bit, you're going to get a big wide stereo effect. The delay stays mono, but it's got a pretty good feedback and intuitive time controls. The chorus is, your standard chorus, LFO rate, depth, how much of that do you want to hear, and then the mix. So pretty standard pedal board section, but really useful to have all this stuff at your disposal. The cab section, this is where some of these newer plugins really shine. The 3D cab sections, the ability to push or pull the mic back, push it up against the grill, move it from the center of the cone, to the cap, to the cone, all the way to the edge of the cone. Those things are really cool. It just gives you that little bit extra layer of tone shaping. With this, basically an IR section, you have the orange IR that comes in, but you can also load your own custom IR. I have in my Amped Roots, I have the ML Sound Labs Fluff Cab that came with the Roots collection, and you can load that in here and it's already good to go. And you can actually mix that in with your existing IR here. Again, you have access to the Dynamic 57, which is basically an SM57, the 121, the 160, and then you also have what is the Sennheiser 421 dynamic mic. There are no condenser mics built into this plugin. That's something I think I would like to see personally, because I do like the sound of the 414, the AKG. But, regardless, you got 4 different mics to choose from, and you can mix them and match them all you want between the 2 different speakers. So that's really cool. There's MIDI, if you want to do any kind of MIDI control. Never really dug into this personally, but it's there if you know how to use it and you like to use it. Beyond that, you can save all your presets. I think all plugins like this should have tuners. Not all of them do, but I think they all should. The one thing about this plugin that I have I wouldn't call it a complaint, but it's something I noticed that they don't include on this plugin or any of the Roots plugins that I have, is I can't input a stereo signal into this plugin and have it, play panned tones. Typically, when I'm tracking guitars, mixing, I take my two left and right direct input tracks, just regular DI tracks, and I send those to either an auxiliary track or usually an auxiliary bus of some sort where I have the actual amp plugin on that bus and I'm feeding in those left and rights into that one plugin. What that really helps is to cut down your CPU usage and keep, your amp tones if you're doing two, kicked out tracks that you want to sound, identically like EQ'd. It doesn't mess with the tone of the two, with each other. So if there's no chance that you're going to have the left side or the right side or the left side, one of them is going to have some sort of weird EQ thing that you didn't catch. They're all going to be EQ'd the same, and this just doesn't have that. So maybe going forward, the company can look into how to reroute a stereo signal into this plugin and get stereo output. So just a thought. So with that said, let me go pull out the guitar and we'll dig into the actual sounds on this thing. So first up, let's go ahead and check out the clean amp. So for this, I'm going to be using my kit-built Telecaster that if you want to see a video of how this all came together, you can check it out somewhere up there. But yeah, I think this has single coil pickups. I think, for some of those classic British orange tones, I think having this high output single coil pickup in the P90 might give you a good sense of how, you can do some of the more classic rock, maybe even bridge into a little bit of that doomy metal kind of stuff. First thing I'm doing here is I'm just going to go through some of their presets that they have built into the plugin itself. The first one is just called Pristine Clean, and to me that just means, this should be a pretty no-frills clean tone. Sounds like it has a little bit of reverb on there. And going over to the pedal board section, yeah, there's a little bit of reverb on here. It's barely in the mix. You could probably turn that up and get a little bit more reverb. It's even got some compression. Clean tones and compression go pretty well. Turn that up a little bit, maybe get a little more spank. Ooh, that really kind of brings it down though, huh? Let's turn that off. So I'm going to turn the reverb off and just mess with the EQ real quick. It's a pretty neutral tone. There's not much in the way of, turn the mids all the way up. Some of those sweeps I'm doing are pretty subtle to the ear to me. You push the gain on the clean channel a bit and it seems like you can get a little bit of distortion. That's pretty cool. I like that. Turning up the master seems to just bring out more of everything. But it kind of compresses the sound when you get it too high. nice to have the independent output so you can actually turn it up a little bit more. Overall, the clean channel's cool. I think it's a pretty workable clean channel, and you could probably get some pretty good bass tones out of this to mix into, whatever you're doing. Let me go ahead and check out some of their other presets here. Yeah, let's look at Iris Delay Clean. Ooh. And so that's got the chorus, delay, and reverb. One thing with the reverb, as you turn the mix up, it just totally widens out the stereo field on the actual amp, or on the actual sound that you're hearing. Yeah, it just widens it out. But one thing it does when you do that is it also kind of diminishes a little bit of the output that you're getting, so it'll be a little bit quieter overall, but you're kind of sacrificing that perceived loudness for a wider sound. So in a mix, maybe that's what you're going for. So let's go to one of the presets I made. And on this, I have the gain pushed a little bit just to give it a little bit more grit. Going with other plugins that have these built-in pedal boards, sometimes you get kind of hamstrung by the fact that it's mostly just like a boost pedal, and sometimes a reverb, sometimes a delay. This has two pedals that play really nice with each other. And if you go to that delay, you get the feedback. So if you really want that long tail. And then with the mix knob on the delay, it doesn't actually diminish any of the output because it doesn't really widen it. It keeps it mono. Yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, this clean amp is pretty solid. I also tried to dial in kind of more like a shoegazy, dirty clean using the drive pedal. Might be a little too loud. Let me go back to the amp, turn the output down a little bit. So yeah, there's actually quite a bit you can do with the clean amp. I'm not sad at all about what I'm hearing coming out of this plugin. That's cool. So let's go ahead and move on to the dirty amp, and we'll see what the high gain stuff is all about. All right, so I've switched over to the high gain amp, and I just have it set to one of the presets on here called Modern Rock. Yeah, I mean that's chunky. That is very orange sounding. So they got modern rock, stoner rock, boosted metal, classic rock, shred lead. Let's go to the shred lead, see kind of what I can do with this telly real quick. Tried to bend it a little too hard. That just has a really nice response. Like, there's nothing bad about that at all. But I'm going to move on from the Telecaster. Standard drop D tuning, single coils. Let's get into the more chunky stuff. All right, so now I have my modded out Squire Bullet Stratocaster with the single Seymour Duncan Black Winter. If you want to see a video about how this beast came together, you can check it out up there. I'll link it. This is in drop B. Let me go ahead and move to the boosted metal setting that they have on here. I think, you could probably mix this into a modern metal track and probably get pretty good results. And of course, we got the drive pedal on here. Pretty much set up like you would do like a boost pedal, like a clean boost, no drive, middle of the road tone, level all the way up. You're just pushing that amp a little harder. So let me go to the one that I kind of made up. I tried to get a little bit more high-end definition by messing with the cab section. I went ahead here and went with both of the dynamic mics and just kind of mixed them together a little bit more towards the SM57. Just because it has a little bit more top end. As someone who kind of gravitates towards the 5150 style amps on some of these amp plugins, I gotta say the orange sound is really doing it for me with that kind of low mid kind of growl. And to me, it's not muddy at all. To me, it's got quite a bit of bite and a little bit of tightness. I put the tone all the way up, level all the way up. I even add a little bit of drive on the pedal board for the drive pedal and a little gain. When you mess with the master control on this high gain amp, turning it up gives you a little bit more fullness, almost like you're turning up the resonance on like a power amp section. So it's really pretty cool. This thing's great. I'm happy this exists. I also tried to dial in more of like a shoegazy kind of less modern metal tone as well to see kind of how that worked out on the dirty amp. Just having access to that reverb and that delay pedal on this high gain thing, it just opens up the sound field. And I'm looking forward to actually kind of digging into this even more in a mix and trying to kind of tease out some of those effects that you can get. Especially, one of the things I've been doing a lot lately is layering the different amp tones. I'll have a main amp kind of rhythm tone, but underneath, putting something like this with a little bit more texture, it's great. It just opens up the sound that much more. So I'm digging it. Okay, so I decided I needed to bust out the 30-inch Bass 6 style Sub-Zero baritone, whatever you want to call it. It's in drop D1, so that's a whole octave below regular drop D. And I just want to see what this thing sounds like full throttle with a really low tune guitar. Got my cat in the background trying to photobomb. Yeah, you can stay there. I mean, you got to admit, this orange amp is built for handling some of these lower, obnoxiously low guitars. Let me go to one of the presets. Let's see what that boosted metal preset really sounds like, with this guitar. Pretty similar, a little less saturated, a little less high end, but still pretty good. Trying to get that 3rd fret harmonic on a low D. Trying to bend, do blues bends on a damn 30-inch. It can be done, but I mean, why? Yeah, messing with the cab section, it's great to have, oh man, the SM57's way off to the cone. Put it in the middle. kind of brightens it up a little bit. And then the ribbon mic, same thing. Yeah, it doesn't hurt that these or this guitar, I put the bare knuckle juggernauts in it. Basically the pickups are worth more than the guitar itself. But regardless, it sounds great to me. Some of the purists out there might just think this sounds like fart noises. Either way, guys, having the orange sound just kind of at my disposal is great. There are other orange plugins out there. I mean, this isn't the only one. But in the price range that this is offered at, I think it's like 29.99 euros. However much that converts into US, it's like $33. And that's on the 25% off deal right now. I think going forward after that deal's over, it'll be 59 euros, 60 euros, something like that. So you're going to be paying like $65. But still, a lot of the more competent orange plugins that are out run, like $100 plus. I don't see anyone who wants an orange, like especially an orange high gain amp, I don't see how you don't pick this up. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take some of this distorted goodness, put it into some kind of sludgy mix, and I think I'm going to use the 30-inch just because I'm digging it. And let's see what it sounds like in a mix, drums, bass, all that fun stuff. And, hear how it sounds. All right, so that's the plugin, and I think it can do everything from crystal cleans, shoegazy, just really washed out, like big open sounds, all the way to like really brutal, down-tuned, just nasty. So, hope you enjoyed. Check it out. See you later.